was that gun at?
Yeah, in his waistband.
All new developments in an officer-involved shooting in Flagstaff after a man is shot 5 times, killing in. A new report finds the suspect shot was under the influence of several substances. The toxicology report says by the Coconino County Medical Examiner's Office yesterday released there, saying that 32-year-old Donald Myers had meth, opiates, marijuana, and alcohol all in his system. The shooting happened on July 13th. The officers still under investigation for this one.
Developing tonight, Denver police are searching for at least one suspect who shot 2 men, killing one of them. It happened early this morning on East Colfax and is being investigated as a homicide. Police believe a disturbance between a group of people led to the shooting. Denver 7's Amanda Del Castillo was the only reporter on scene this morning.
When I looked out the window, everybody was laying on the sidewalk, you know, dodging the bullets.
And I was laying in bed, and I heard gunshots go off, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 8 shots.
A scene many people living along East Colfax are familiar with.
It's either gang fights, drugs, stabbings, murders, and it's absolutely just out of control.
Stephen LaQuarrie lives in the building above the crime scene. He says the blue evidence markers you see here are only temporarily replacing the group of people who normally spend their day accosting others.
I can walk to 7-Eleven from there to there, and they asked if I want to buy crack or heroin at least 3 times a day.
Another resident says she's seen people pushing baby strollers going into the street to avoid that same group of people.
It just seems the corner of Pearl and Colfax that it's like the vortex right here.
Felber, who works a night shift near Saturday's homicide scene, he says unfortunately this was just another night along East Colfax.
I think it was about a month and a half ago. There was another homicide right outside of the McDonald's, you know, less than 50 yards down the street.
Reporting in Capitol Hill, I'm Amanda Del Castillo, Denver 7.
The homicide investigation is happening only 2 blocks from Denver's District 6 police station. We spoke with District Commander Ron Sonier, who says the department hears the community loud and clear. DPD is dedicating more resources to the area and says it's made significant drug arrests in the last month, taking 3 armed dealers into custody.
All right, thanks, Shay. Developing overnight, federal and local officials are investigating a threat against the Mosaic company.
Of course, all of this happening as the company is dealing with hundreds of frustrated homeowners who have fears over contaminated drinking water. Jake Peterson is following this story. Jake, and what do we know about the threat this morning?
Yeah, and good morning. I just got off the phone with local authorities who are working to get me information right now. I can tell you the Sheriff's Department and the FBI are investigating a threatening letter with a suspicious powder that was sent to Mosaic's headquarters in Lithia. It was received last night. We're still working to find out what the letter said and who it was sent to specifically. Now, people who live near the plant are upset about contaminated water that drained into an underground aquifer. There were even protests 2 weeks ago today in Mulberry. We will continue to follow this and bring you the latest when it's available.
Get nailed, and Phoenix police making an arrest after this police cruiser was hit. This happened at 16th Street and Union Hills Drive. Officers tell us the vehicle made a left turn right in front of the patrol car. Today they arrested a 58-year-old woman and booked her on extreme DUI charges. Let's get up. Top story tonight, the search for missing Jesse Wilson. The Buckeye boy disappeared in July, and this weekend, a renewed push to find this young boy. ABC 15's Megan Thompson joins us live in Avondale. And Megan, who is behind this search?
Well, it was Jesse's grandmother, actually, Cam, that really wanted this to happen. And as you can see behind me here, we have search crews out here. This is a nonprofit group who's taking a break right now, but more and them, they're also going to be spanning out here in the deserts of Avondale, the outskirts here of Avondale and Buckeye, planning to search well into the night and back out again in the morning. Jesse's grandmother, Cynthia Lauderdale, says she's never been the same since he's been missing. Lauderdale hasn't seen Jesse in 6 years because he was adopted, but she's actually been fighting for custody of the little boy for years. Right now, she says she is still fighting for custody of the other 2 siblings. Lauderdale says if she would have been granted custody of them, Jesse would not be missing right now.
I just love them, and they deserve the love from their family, from their biological family. I've never forgotten them, and that's why I'm here today still 6 years later.
nearly a dozen people with this nonprofit search and rescue out right now trying to work in shifts to make sure everyone stays safe and alert. And coming up at 4:30, we'll have more details on the specific efforts of this group and also why the owner has a very special interest in all this. We'll have that in just a half hour, Kim.
All right, for more on the investigation into the train crash, we're joined by Mark Rosenker, our CBS News National Transportation Safety Analyst. He's a former chairman of the National Transportation Safety Board, and he's in our Washington Bureau. Mark, good morning.
Good morning, Anthony.
Mark, you've been involved in hundreds of these investigations. Tell me what the NTSB is looking for right now. What's the most important information they can get from this investigation, from the event, from the image recorders?
Well, right now they are having some tremendous challenges with the event recorder. They've had to send it to the manufacturer, so they've sent a technician from the recordings laboratory in Washington along with the device down to work with the manufacturers to be able to actually download the data. That data is going to share with us what the speed was, if in fact the engineer attempted to stop the train in any way, and ultimately did he attempt to even use the emergency braking system.
So this GO team was sent just within hours of the crash itself by the NTSB. What exactly is its responsibility?
These are about a dozen folks. They include an investigator in charge, a member of the board, some press staff, but the professional investigators that will be there will be looking at the equipment. They'll be looking at the track. They'll be looking at signals. They'll be looking at see if there was positive train control. They're also going to be looking at signals. They'll be looking also with the human factors issue and survival factors.
Mark, there was another crash at this Hoboken terminal in 2011 involving a PATH train. Will those findings be part of this investigation?
Well, it's coincidental that this accident actually occurred almost at the same time that the accident occurred at the 2011 Hoboken station accident. Clearly, they're going to look at that, but the evidence that, in fact, is presented before them with this accident may end up having some different issues.
So, Mark, this commuter train, as you mentioned, was not equipped with positive train control technology. What exactly is that, and how might it have impacted this situation?
Positive train control is an advanced series of technologies using elements of GPS, radio, track signaling, and computers on board the locomotive. What it's designed to do is to actually monitor the train's performance, and if in fact it begins to overspeed or go through signals, it will alert the engineer, and if the engineer does not react, it will take over the train and stop it.
All right, Mark Rosenker in Washington this morning. Thank you, Mark.
You bet.
Wife is, her maiden name was Bulaw, B-U-L-A-W. Of course, her first name is Linda, middle name is Jane. She's originally from the Chicago, Illinois area, and she attended Elgin High School there, and also National College of Education. In the Illinois area. Her father's name is Adolph Bulaw. And the only address we can come up with so far is Barrington Hills, Illinois. Gerald, the deceased husband, graduated from Stanford University from all indications. They were married in Barrington Hills. Linda Jane attended airline hostess school, United Airlines, in Cheyenne, Wyoming, and her first assignment apparently was Seattle, Washington.
Can you say whether you have what you consider to be any good leads or clues in this case at this point? Gene?
I can't say at this point.
Where were the victims found?
Mr. and Mrs. were found in their bedroom, what apparently is their bedroom, on the floor.
Was he laying across her?
No.
Where was the child found?
When will we get
in her bedroom.
Next 15.
Has criminal assault upon her been confirmed at this time?
No, it has not been. I don't know where that information came from.
Is there anything that would suggest it in your investigation?
I can't say.
In the capital Sana'a, a press conference was held by Yemen's Human Rights and Development Center to shed light on the Saudi war crimes and the growing civilian cost of the invasion.
Our organization went to the field and documented the crimes committed by Saudi Arabia. It has included the following figures. 620 mosques were destroyed, 238 factories have been bombarded, the destruction of 3,200,000 houses and the displacement of 4 million civilians have also been recorded.
The evidence of the crimes is released as the UN Human Rights Council has again failed to form an independent international committee to probe Saudi crimes in Yemen.
We were really shocked when we heard the decision of the UN Human Rights Council when it decided to extend the term of former president's commission. How come you give the killer the right to probe his own war crimes? We have called for formation of an independent international committee since the beginning of Saudi invasion. Unfortunately, our voice has not been heard.
The human rights activists said they will hold their 50th rally near the UN's office in the capital Sana'a in 2 days and to camp outside the international body until the world community take serious steps to stop the Saudi deadly airstrikes. Despite the mounting civilian death in Yemen, Saudi warplanes once again bombed this populated area in Sana'a. This area has seen one of the most deadliest Saudi raids. It seems that call by rights activists for an end to such death and destruction is falling on deaf ears. Muhammad Atab, Press TV, from southwest of Sana'a, Uttan area.